G'day everyone, welcome back to the channel. In this episode we've got something pretty special, so we'll run the opener and we'll jump straight into it. So for those that follow me on Instagram and social media, they would have seen I put up a sneak preview of a box that I picked up over the weekend, and that happens to be Cigweld's new Weld Skill 185 LCD MIG, TIG and stick welder. So I picked that up from Total Tools, so we're going to do a bit of an unboxing and a review because it's quite new, and we'll put it to the test and see how it goes. So let's jump into it. So this is the box that it comes in. It's a pretty good little bundle. So it comes with the welder, 2 spools of wire, one being a gas, one being the gasless wire. It comes with gloves, helmet, and the Tig Torch, MIG torch, and the arc welder, electrode holder. So let's open her up and have a look. It's already sliced up the end, so we can open her up and have a look what's inside. Look at that. So, I'm guessing that's our welder, and we might have some toys down here. So, we got Cigweld gloves, some MIG pliers. What else we got? The argon gas meter, or the shielding gas flow meter. What else we got? Gasless welding wire, 0.8mm, and 0.8mm this solid gas wire. So that's pretty good that it comes with the 2 5 kilos, where a lot of the other brands in their bundles just come with 1 gas wire. At least this one's all ready to go. So that's pretty cool. Pull them in. Jeez, it's pretty heavy. We've got the auto darkening helmet. That's pretty cool. So this one's got the Ultra View, or the True Color lens, which I actually have on my Michigan airbrushed welding helmet. It makes a big difference. So when it actually flicks into the darkening, rather than having a green light where your welding flash is, it's actually white. I find that a lot better to see what I'm doing when I'm welding. And this one's got the same thing, so sweet. Got a spare helmet. Put that to the side. Now we get into the good part, the actual welder. So this one's the Cigweld 185 amp welder, as you can see here, LCD screen. So talking to the guys down at Total Tools at Found Gate, where I picked this up from, they were telling me that this is only a few months old. So being only 6 months old, pretty excited to do an unboxing and a review, seeing as there's not too many reviews out on the actual LCD model, but there is on the predecessor model, which is just a digital dial and display. So we get our manual and plus our warranty cards, so we can put them to the side with everything else. Move the foam out the way. Here we go. So we got, guessing, the MIG torch. It's a good looking torch. Very sturdy, feels pretty reliable. Typical Binzel. Also comes set up with a contact tip and cone on it already, which is good. We've got, what's this? Tig Torch. So doing some research, that these Tig Torches that come with this model of 3-in-1 is actually a pretty good quality Tig Torch. They retail for about $200 from Total Tools. So it's a good grab. What else we got? Oh, good earth cable. So I'm told that this is a 3-metre earth cable, which is a good distance, especially when you're doing welding. You don't want to put the welder too close to what I'm working on. And good heavy duty clamp, which is good. So makes welding a bit nicer. And what else we got? The gas hose. So that goes with our argon flow meter over there. What else we got in here? Oh, this is down here. Might be the arc electrode holder, which, yep. So that's good quality one too. Nice and sturdy. A bit of consumables. Here we go. So we got, I'm guessing this might be contact tips and maybe some rollers. So we'll have a look in there. Yep, we got 2 contact tips. I'm guessing one might be a 0.9 or a 0.8 and the other one might be the other size. We've got another spare roller and spanner. So that's pretty cool. We get some consumables. And what else we got? Some TIG cups and ends. So that's pretty cool. Good thing about this one is that we can pretty much hook it up in about 5 minutes and start welding. We don't really have to go buy extra bits and pieces. I suppose the only other thing we might need to purchase is the actual gas bottle when we start doing some gas shielding welding, rather than just using the gasless. Make it a bit nicer. So now we've got all our stuff out of the way, we can actually pull out this bad boy and take a look. So let's pull it out and kick the box out of the way and have a squeeze. So there she is. Nice U-Butte machine. So we got 3-in-1 Cigweld sticker. Let's have a look at the back end. So we got on-off switch, power cord and our gas inlet. So it looked like it was just a Nitto fitting or a compressed fitting where we can just click it in and it's done. So it's nice and easy. And then we'll have a look at our side. So nice tabs. Oh, check that out. So having a look at the model inside the workshop, or the Total Tools sales workshop, is this actually gives you all the details for what you're welding and what your settings need to be. It also comes with all the components for your consumables, so what sizing contact tips and what model of contact tips fit this MIG gun and TIG gun. So that's all on here, which is pretty cool. And our drive rollers too, so we can replace these rollers if we need to. So it's pretty cool. All metal rollers, which is nice and sturdy. Where I know a lot of other models have plastic rollers and they're prone to breaking quite easily, so it's always good to go that good quality metal one. Apart from the tensioner, which is a bit plastic, but that's all right. So we got our wire nut. So apparently you can take this nut off and this whole sleeve comes out and you can fit 1 kilo mini spools on there rather than the big 5 kilo spool. So that's also pretty good. So without further ado, let's throw it up on the table and we'll flicker on and have a look at the main screen. All right, so now we got it all plugged in and ready to go. The other thing I did mention too about this machine, it's actually run on a 10 amp plug. So for my use, doing what I'm doing with the 4-wheel drives and building bits and pieces for the cars, I found that a 10 amp plug would be a lot better, so I can move it around from PowerPoint to PowerPoint rather than having a 15 amp plug, which really sort of locks me into certain PowerPoints. It just makes it a little bit less travel friendly, I guess, where 10 amps is a bit easier to take around to anywhere. So let's flicker on and we'll have a look. So as you can hear, the fan inside is actually pretty loud, which is good because it's actually got quite a high duty cycle. So at least we know that those components are going to get looked after with that fan running. So we've got our wire speed, volts and amperage and arc control. I think that's more for arc, the stick or MMA welding as they call it. And here's our settings one. So we might flick over, have a look. So we've got it's a lift TIG rather than a scratch TIG, MIG and stick. So we'll click it onto MIG, put it on, and there we go. So we can say volts, our amperage, and wire speed. So I'm guessing MPM might be millimeters per minute or meters per minute. So we'll flick it to about 6. I know on my old man's block, I was using it at about 6 or 7, so we might go 7. It's quite good. We can go percentages, so 6 to 3, we'll go 6.5, go in the middle. So what else we got? We got control, spot weld. So I was told that from the bloke at Total Tools that spot weld is just for tacking. So the machine will actually dictate its own time rather than pulling the trigger and holding it and get a tack, that it will actually just go bzzz and hold the tack. So that's pretty cool. And then we've got burn back, which I'm not too sure what burn back is, but we'll have a read of the manual and have a find out. So that's pretty cool. So here we go. We've got 2T or 4T, and apparently that's a gun selection. So if you tap it twice, it starts, and you can double tap and it will keep going. Remote is for spool guns. So a spool gun works rather than the actual spool motor running from in the back here, is that the spool gun will actually work from the spool gun. So we can swap to local. So that's setting, and then return button and return. So we can move around to info. You can see that's up to date with the firmware, which is pretty cool. Stick. So rather obviously stick, it's got the amperage of volt, so we can move that around. Oh, there we go. So it works on the wire speed dial. So that's pretty cool. Back, lift TIG, and that's got the control and downslope. As far as downslope, I know is the way that your amps will slope up. It'll get to the working speed, start, and then you stop, and then it'll bring it back down, rather than a big up, work, drop off. But I could be wrong. Let me know in the comments. And controls, same again, 4T, 2T, local remote. I'm not too sure what the TIGs for local and remote would be. I'd have to look in the manual. Other than that, and we'll set up the polarity for gasless. So we'll check the manual and we'll set up, and we'll throw some welds down, and we'll look it in for part 2 on the review, and we'll have a squeeze in a couple of minutes.
One eternity later.
Alright, so it's been a few weeks since I actually picked this up. Now you're probably wondering why I waited so long to do the second part of the video, and the main reason was so I could give the viewers an accurate review on this machine. So, seeing it's been a few weeks since I've had the machine, I've been able to use it pretty flat out most weekends and some nights after work too. So it's had a good run since I've picked it up. Now, I don't want to give away too much of what I've been doing and welding with the machine, because that's coming up in a few future episodes. So, while using the machine, it's been really handy having this chart on the inside of the door of how to set the machine up. I'll be showing you in the unboxing. Now, the main reason for that is it shows what settings to use for what different steel, or stainless, or whatever material you're welding. Plus it gives you a full list of the consumables too. So I was able to go down to Total Tools and pick up a couple of boxes of spares contact tips and cones and nozzles and stuff for the machine, and actually set up myself a little toolkit, so if I burn through stuff in future projects, I've always got spares on hand. So that was really good. The main other aspect too is that from the box it came with everything I needed. I didn't have to go and purchase extra wire or gasless wire. So I'm on a tight budget at the moment with all the builds going on for the car at the moment. So gas bottle really isn't an option at a couple $100 for me, where I could purchase a couple $100 of steel and keep going and make content and good projects for the car. So to be able to use gasless wire straight out of the box from this machine was a brilliant option. Also too, the actual construction of the machine and the actual gun, or the Tig Torch, has been phenomenal. But it's got an actual pivot point on the bottom of the gun, so you can see that it will pivot a little bit, and that's really good, that getting into those tight corners, it's not creating a pinch zone on that actual hose and jamming up the feed for the wire, which is really good. To be able to swap it out, the ends and the actual contact tips or the consumables, is really easy, especially coming with that MIG plier that came with the kit. So that's been really good. But the actual use of the machine has been brilliant. So, seeing that I haven't been able to afford gas, I've only really used the MIG and the arc functions of this machine. So, to get a review on the TIG that might come later on down the track when I actually learn how to TIG weld and get a gas bottle. So for the moment, this review is just focusing on the MIG and the arc settings of this machine. So the MIG settings are really, really easy to use. The fact that I can put it on spot weld and just do tiny tacks has been brilliant. So all I have to do is point, hold the trigger, and it will cut out after the amount of seconds that I've programmed into the machine. So at the moment I've programmed it in for 1 second, and to do tacks is brilliant. I can just hold, bang, 1 second, that's it. I don't have to worry about putting too much heat or blowing out just on a tack. So for a welder, I'm not a welder, that's a really good option for me, seeing as that sometimes my welds can be pretty sketchy. So to have that peace of mind knowing that I'm not going to go any longer than a second and put too much heat in it is brilliant. Changing the settings in the actual machine is really, really good. So the nice big LCD screen's easy to read, even with the hood on. So I can move these dials if I need to. Nice big chunky dials, good screen, really bright in the sun too. So in the middle of the daylight, you could be welding outside and you can still see that screen really, really clearly, even through the auto darkening hood that comes with the machine, or just with sunglasses on if I'm working out and I don't need to weld it. I can just flick it on and see the machine's ready to go, and then swap out to my hood and I'm good to go. The construction of the actual rollers are really, really good. I haven't had any issues yet with breaking a part of the rollers or any mechanical failures in that part, so it's been really, really good. And I'm currently using the big 5 kilo roll that came with it, the gasless wire, so I haven't had any issues with that either. So the actual functionings of the machine, I'll have to give it a 5 out of 5. It's been brilliant for my uses so far. So it's been really, really good. And the fact that it comes straight out of the box ready to use is a brilliant, brilliant option for those people on a budget. So if, like myself, I was on a bit of a budget that I wanted to get a good quality machine, but I didn't obviously have all the money to go out and buy a top end 15 amp fancy machine. So a good basic entry DIY machine, this has been absolutely brilliant. I can't stress enough, like you get it in the box and it's ready to go. You don't have to go and buy extra bits unless you want to get some spares, contact tips and different bits and pieces, but you can pretty much put your wire in and your welding, where the competitor machine that I was looking at, I still had to purchase a gasless wire option because, like I said, the budget didn't allow for a gas bottle just yet. So to get this one that came with gasless wire and all the bits and pieces ready to go, it was a no-brainer for me. So if you're looking for a machine that you can just get straight out of the box and start using, I would definitely recommend this Cigweld 185 LCD screen. It's just brilliant. The guys at Total Tools helped me out heaps, and they said it was a brilliant machine, so you can't go wrong. And the fact that Cigweld's so easy to talk to and a great company to deal with makes it a hell of a lot easier if you've got any issues. So if you're after a machine, I'd definitely check out the Cigweld 185. So saying that, you'll be seeing it a hell lot more coming up in the future episodes, like when we start building the rock sliders and the bull bar facelift and a few other bits and pieces, like the camper trailer, like I spoke about in the last episode. So don't be surprised if you see a lot of this machine, because it definitely works beautifully. So if you want to stay up to date and see all the current builds and what else I'm up to, hit that subscribe button, like this video, and definitely send it to your mates if they're in for a welder or they're into building 4-wheel drive parts too. Always helps out sharing those videos, get the name out there, and we'll see you in the next episode. Catches.